Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby and I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to do all of my exercises on a ball. So the benefits of doing exercises on a ball is that you incorporate more core, you incorporate some more balance muscles, and although you don't want to do everything on a ball, if you have one, like I've had some people get a ball for their office chair and that's the only thing they sit on and then they end up with back pain. So you do want to mix it up. And sitting on a ball sometimes at your office chair is a great idea, but we're going to use these, do these exercises on a ball today. And the only other piece of equipment you're going to need is a band. So if you don't have a ball, it's okay. I'll show you an alternative. You can either stand for a couple of these and I'll show you other things that you can do if you don't have a ball. You can just sit on the edge of a chair instead. And I'll show you ways to alter it if you don't have a ball. But we're gonna start with a row. So I have my tubes through my door here. If you don't have this type of setup, you can just loop a band around a strong banister or shove it in a door or something similar to that. So I'm going to squeeze back, starting with my shoulders down, and pull those elbows straight towards the back of the room. You want to keep your torso and your abs still and keep them engaged throughout this whole exercise. And remember to breathe. So take a breath before you start and breathe out as you pull back. And if you don't have that going, that's okay, as long as you keep breathing and you don't hold your breath. You want to go nice and slowly here. Don't let the band snap back. If you do have a machine, you can do this on a machine too. You can set it up at the rowing attachment and still sit on a ball. Remember to keep those shoulders down away from your ears, and you're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back like you're squeezing a pencil between those shoulder blades. Okay, good. One more, and we'll slowly let those go back down. Okay, next we're just going to march on the ball. So sitting, and if you have trouble with this, with your balance, do it near something sturdy so you can hang on to it. You can either use, a coffee table or a kitchen chair, something sturdy. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see, and I want you to just slowly march. The other thing you can do, if this is challenging, is put your hands on the side of the ball, and that gives you a little bit more stability. So notice that my hips are right under my shoulders and I'm in good posture. I want to stay in that good posture for these marches and not let my shoulders droop like this. You want to stay in that good posture and slowly march. If you can, do it without your hands at all, if you're safe in that position. If you do need to have something to hang on to, like I said, just put one hand lightly on it. Challenge yourself. If you don't have a ball, you can do these seated in a chair, or you can stand and march. That's another good way to work that balance. Nice and slowly. Okay, next we're going to roll out to a bridge. So I'm just going to change around where my camera is. So while you're seated on that ball, you can roll out so that your shoulders and your head are resting comfortably on the ball. So you want your feet right under your knees. I might not be move this way just a little. So you want a good 90-degree angle in those knees, and you want a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So we're going to try to hold this bridge for a good 5 seconds, and then come down, come back up. And you should really be feeling this in your hamstrings and in your glutes. We're strengthening the back part of your leg and hips. Come back down. You're putting your weight through your heel when you go up into that bridge. And even when I come down, you can see my weight is in my heels. And you want to push those hips towards the ceiling, still keeping those shoulders away from your ears. And remember, if this is difficult for you and you don't have that balance, do it next to a coffee table or something that you can walk out and use your hand for that balance. Let's do A few more, holding those bridges for about 5 seconds. The longer you hold it, the more muscle fibers have to be called into action to hold you in that spot. So you may really be feeling it in the back of those hips and those glutes. Keep breathing. Let's do 2 more. You want your shoulders and your head resting comfortably on that ball. And 1 more all the way up. Good flat line from your knees all the way to your shoulders. Okay. And then when you're finished, you can just walk yourself back up to seated. Okay. And we're going to stay right here. So we're going to do some crunches on the ball. So we'll roll out just a little bit and put your feet out so they're kind of bent. Your knees are kind of bent and your heels are on the ground again. And we're just going to do some crunches. So lean back on that ball and you can kind of roll it under you just a little to support that back if you do have back pain. So notice I'll roll back and so I'm really laying on the ball and then I come up. Or if you can, just like kind of perched on the front of the ball, you can kind of do it either way, whichever feels better on that back, but still challenges that core, those abdominal muscles. So if this is difficult, if you're losing your balance, put your hand next to a coffee table and you can slowly roll with your hand on the coffee table like this. You can roll with your hands on your knees here, kind of reaching towards your knees each time to start, if you're able to keep that balance. And then here, and then if you need more challenge, you put those hands behind your head and increase that lever length. Nice and slowly, and when you come up, make sure that you're coming up with a straight back, good posture. We don't want to be coming up like this. We don't want to curve that back and, arch that. We want to come up with a really good posture and keep that core nice and tight so everything's working properly. Okay, next we're going to do bird dog. So we're going to flip over on that ball. And I didn't say, if you can do those ab crunches either on the ground or on the edge of a chair. So that works if you don't have a ball. Okay, bird dog. So I'm going to have you do this on a ball. And if you don't have a ball, you can just do it on your hands and knees like this. So you're going to reach your one arm and your opposite leg back like this. So I'm going to show you that on a ball. So you're going to roll on your tummy. Your toes and your fingertips are going to be on the ground. You want to keep your head in a neutral position, so don't look up like this and put that neck in a compromised position. You want to keep your head in that neutral position, and you're going to reach one arm and the opposite leg straight towards the opposite sides of the room. And then we'll switch, and the goal is to hold it for about 5 seconds. When this works, your whole posterior chain, your back and your shoulders and your hips and your hamstrings, and they all work together to hold you in that good balance. If you're really finding yourself teetering around a lot and this is really hard, then you can try just doing your legs, or you can try starting with your arms and then just lift your leg off a little. You can try, kind of varying degrees. Lifting that leg back really challenges this whole posterior chain. So also, if you have shoulder pain with this, you can just leave the arms out of it and just do the legs. So you can figure out what works for you there. The other thing is, if you're having trouble with your tummy on the ball like this, you might just want to do it on your hands and knees on the floor anyway. So you can kind of, see how that feels for you, because you need to be able to keep breathing throughout this. And if that's too hard with your tummy on the ball like this, whoop, I lost my balance a little. If you have any low back pain with this, you could try not extending your arm so far, and just do your legs again, like I was talking about, or try it on the ground. It might be just a little bit easier on those hands and knees. Let's do one more on each side. Okay, good. Then you can roll back And then take a deep breath, and then we're gonna roll out again and do a plank. So what I like about doing a plank with a ball is you can kind of make it varying degrees of difficulty. So walking yourself out to here, for instance, and I'm on my hands and my weight is right on my hips, on the center of that ball. So this isn't too difficult. So the further you take that ball towards your feet, the more difficult this will be. So you can start, I would start with it on your hips, like I just showed you. And then as you feel more confident, you can just kind of walk forward just a little bit. Now it's on my thighs. And then I'm gonna walk forward a little more, put it on my knees. Get rid of that ball so I can walk further. And then if you're feeling confident and you're feeling safe, you can walk out further so it's on your shins. And the goal is to hold it and hold a nice straight line from your heels all the way through the top of your head. So again, I want your head in a neutral position. You don't want it dipping like this. Lots of times people like to kind of watch what they're doing. But you want it in a neutral position. If you're able, you can put it all the way out on those feet and hold it. So anywhere along there, just take it to where you are being challenged and safe. Okay, those are the exercises I'm going to show you today on the ball. Make sure you warm up before you start. I didn't say that, but and then following this, do all of your stretches. Take the time to do those, especially if you have areas of pain, something's kind of bugging you. Also send me a comment or a message if you have something that's kind of bugging you and you need a little extra TLC for that. I can give you some extra ideas on how to stretch it or other strengthening ideas. So go ahead and do these through at least a couple more times if you've got the time. Remember, all you need today is a ball and a band. And if you don't have a ball, you can do them on the floor or with a chair. So I think I explained through each one. The plank I didn't, but you can do your plank, you know, on your knees like this, or up on your toes. So you can kind of play with that plank as well too if you don't have a ball. And if you're doing it with the ball and it just feels unsafe, forget about the ball and just do it on the floor. The floor is much sturdier. So let me know if you have any questions or if you want to see something in the future videos. I'd love ideas. I like it when you guys have something that you specific that you want to see, and then I can show you that. So have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you on Wednesday.